Hi, I'm Victoria Julianne,
Hey, I'm Avery Francis.
and we are the hosts of the Counterculture Teen podcast. We're here to inspire a spirit of faith and patriotism in the hearts of young Americans like you.
Stick around. We're about to break cultural norms and champion the next generation of fearless patriots.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Counterculture Teen podcast. We have a guest today, and she's one of my best friends. Her name is Anneliese Fellows. Anneliese is an eclectic mix of writer, entrepreneur, artist, and cross-country runner, which is how she endures the chaos her many interests cause. She plays goalie during soccer season, which may account for her tendency to stand in the path of hard things without flinching. She leads a critique group, has been published in 2 poetry anthologies, and made it to Fine Arts Festival Nationals for the first chapter of her book, and completed NaNoWriMo. Her small business, Fruit Bat Creations, is her creative outlet where she sells art, bracelets, and stuffed bats. Anneliese is the co-founder and main singer of the CCM band Crossfire Praise. So, Anneliese, how are you today?
Very good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. And going through your bio, I realized, wow, you've accomplished a lot in your youth years. When did you start pursuing these paths like cross country, entrepreneurship, and writing? When did you start pursuing these?
So, I've done soccer for as long as I can remember. Cross country, actually, I started my freshman year of high school. So, I've been running for about 4 years now.
Nice.
Then singing, I have been doing more focused, more professionally, I guess you might call it. A year ago, I guess I started. And then writing, I mean, I've always liked writing, but I think I particularly started writing a lot more with more on my own. 6th grade maybe, and a couple years ago was when I really started really pushing into that. So, yeah. And my business has only been open for a few months now, I guess.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, how did you know it was your calling to pursue all of these areas of interest? How did you move past hobby to serious endeavor? Because that's a lot of things to be pursuing at once.
Yeah, it is. Well, soccer's always been, I actually never really was my calling exactly. At least that's not how it started. It was just my older cousin, I looked up to her so much, and she did soccer, and so I wanted to be just like her, and that's how I started. But there were a couple years break in between, right after COVID, after the whole shutdown thing, and that's when God led me to this new team where he put me right in the perfect position, a goalie, which is a very rough spot, but I love it, and it's given me a great opportunity to just reach out to my teammates and just grow in boldness, because it takes a lot of guts to stand in front of those flying balls. That kind of leads into...
Yeah, I would imagine.
I
would imagine.
Yeah. So that kind of leads into cross country. I didn't want to do cross country at first, actually. It was my dad who made me, because he ran cross country as a high schooler, and then my grandpa also ran cross country as a high schooler. And so,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it was definitely a God thing, because otherwise I would never have done it. I was like, no more sports, thank you very much. But it's it's a time-consuming thing, but it's also, I don't know how to describe it, but I think it's one of the more God-touched sports. That could just be my bias. But running, I just see God's hand in everything. And sometimes when I feel like I'm about to just die while I'm running, it gives me the chance to focus more on God and others around me. So that's kind of what kind of has kept me going through that, continuing to push through cross country. That's what I, instead of being just a sport. And then writing, that was actually my I was called, I think, when I joined the Young Writers Workshop, YWW.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge thing for me. But God's definitely put a lot of stories on my heart, and over the years I've just seen more and more, like, I can't not tell them. He's put them there for a reason, and to not tell them would be I just can't,
To be like cutting off a limb. It would be like cutting off a limb.
Yeah,
I know,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
really the main ones. My business, that one's a really long story, but I'll kind of give you the short gist of it. I wanted to be a biologist, studying bats for a long time, until I think it was this spring, actually. I was on a college visit, one of many, and I just got called all of a sudden to go into entrepreneurship, of all things. The one thing I thought I would never do. So it kind of made sense to make that leap to go into, like, start my own business. And also, I kind of needed the money. So God's just kind of kept moving that forward, honestly. And I just think that's really cool.
If you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
where did your interest in bats come up? How'd you get so interested in them?
I have no idea, actually. It just kind of hit like lightning. I think it was 5th grade, actually. I started getting my friends to call me Fruit Bat. And to be honest, most of them don't call me Fruit Bat. They're just like, whatever. But, I mean,
I should call you Fruit Bat.
you should. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just think they're amazing creatures. They're just perfect examples of God's creation. Like, evolution can not, like, really deny that there's something different about bats. And there are many other creatures like that, but in particular, those ones just, I don't know, they make me happy.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's great. So, through all these activities, and I know especially when one is starting something, how did you continue to find the motivation to push yourself to be better through each obstacle that came your way?
Well, I gotta admit that there have been definitely seasons where I did not do well with that. Right now, I've had to set aside my writing just because there are a lot of things I have to do, and God's not calling me right now to do that. But I've been trying to pick up on that. Right now, currently, I am finishing up cross country season, and that is probably one of the more difficult sports, in that it's hard to continue sometimes. It's a lot of mental, like, I think I told you that it was like 75% mental, Victoria.
Yep, that's what you told me.
Yeah, and so it was like, it's definitely something you have to rely on God for. And honestly, it's rewarding. I have to remember the reward, the gain that I get from it, the feeling of, like, I've accomplished something. Running every day, that takes substantial motivation. I don't always do that, but at the end of the day, I have a goal, and I want to do better than I did before. I want to bring God glory, so that's what just keeps me going, keeps me waking up at 6:30 every morning to run.
Yeah.
Soccer goalie, as I said before, it's a really rough sport. It's also a very rough sport mentally, not just physically, which, I get quite a few bruises and stuff from that. But last year, actually, I was very close to just being like, I can't do this, because it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of, like, if you're not good enough, then you're gonna let balls fly. That's and they're just, people are expecting you to stop those balls. So it's
Yeah.
one that if you don't find motivation for, you're not gonna make it through. Like, that's not gonna happen. So thankfully,
Yeah.
God, this season, actually, like in the very beginning of the season, first game, he actually like let me go pretty close to walking away from him. I thank the Lord I have not, but I had a little crisis of faith, and that was hard, but it's the hardest thing I've gone through. But at the same time, I'm very grateful that he let me go through that, because now I see that's like he let me taste like the hardest like challenge trial that I've been through, and he's like, "See, that's not what you're going through right now. That's nothing. You need to like keep going and you can do it." So that's, I've had some weird experiences like that. That's how I keep going through that. I'm also a very driven person.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. Um I wanted to touch on like how you're into a lot of sports, but
Mm-hmm.
these days, and especially among teenagers, comparison is a big problem in those circles of younger people.
Mm-hmm.
How do you best battle with comparison and the imposter syndrome when confronted with it? Because I know that comparison is one of the biggest enemies of motivation. Yeah. It can just drain it instantly, you know?
Yeah. That is a great question, actually. I struggled with that for quite some time, actually, especially in writing, because I would reread what I had just written, what I had written a couple months ago, and I'd be like, this is like not good enough. Like, I want to be published someday, but that's not gonna happen. I'm like, this is terrible writing. Like, this person over here, they're amazing writers, and I'm just like nobody. What am I doing here? That it is so destructive. I agree totally. But I think the writers actually have a great saying for this. I think it might be from YWW. The only person you can compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. And that,
yes,
yeah,
that's from YDubs.
that is one quote that I have to remind myself of, because I know what I'm doing is a calling that God has given me, and I can't let other people get in the way of that. It is so hard not to be like, okay, I guess this person's way better than me. I'm never getting there, to name a couple, like my favorite author is fantastic writer. I don't know how she does it, but that's what I want to get to, but I have to remind myself I'm not that person. God's given me my own voice, and I have to use it on my own. I can't just let other people silence that, which again is really, really, really hard. So
Yeah. Wow. That's powerful. So, yeah, I love what you said about all that. That's such good points. But there's one more thing that teenagers, when they take comparison to a higher level, it's taking identity in how well you perform, So, if you met a teenager like that, what would you say to them? What would you say to a teenager who struggles with comparison and taking identity in how well they perform?
Yeah, well, I can actually just tell you what I would tell myself, since I am or was one of those people. I just want to say that no matter how well you perform, no matter if you're amazing at something or absolutely terrible at it, you are loved and you are able by the creator of the universe. And God gave you those gifts for a reason, but he might take them away. He may put you in a position where you aren't the best at something that you were amazing at in one season of life, and that's okay. Like, that's absolutely fine. I was the best, like one of like the second fastest runner on the JV team in my freshman year, and then sophomore year was that there were like 5 other girls faster than me. Now I am the slowest girl on varsity team. Not to say that I'm slow, but I can't compare myself to other people anymore, and it's really hard to keep yourself from just being like, this is my identity. This is who I am, and it's something that God's going to have to lead you in to actually find that confidence, but he'll get you there if you let him. And that's a journey you're going to have to be willing to take.
Wow, that was so powerful. As someone who struggles with that, I was just kind of tuning in and listening like, wow, I can apply this in so many areas of my life. Hey, Avery, why don't you close us off here? What do you think about what we've talked here today?
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like, Anneliese, there have been a lot of things in your life that have challenged your faith, which I think now that you've thought about it, it strengthened your faith a lot more, right? And that's the thing about life is God's going to throw a lot of things your way. And because he wants you to know he's there for you, but you've got to fight for your faith, you have to defend it, and you have to realize he's going to love you no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Because he did die for your sins, right?
Yeah, we're loved unconditionally. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, Anneliese, today. Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you for having me.
Tune in next time for another episode.
If you like this show, be sure to subscribe to our email list below and follow us on Spotify and YouTube.
See y'all soon. And remember, in an age of compromise, it's up to us as Christians to choose to courageously counter culture for Jesus Christ.